A young Middlesex team was comfortably defeated by a strong West Indian side at Lords, their margin of victory in a 50-over contest being 228 runs. Neil Dexter won the toss and decided to have a look at the touring batsman first, and Lendl Simmons and the returning Chris Gale was soon putting bat to ball as they opened up with a 55-run stand in the first 10 overs. With Tim Murtagh the only member of the regular Middlesex attack, Gale was quickly doing what he does best, and that's hitting big sixes. When Murtagh dropped in a bit short, the Jamaican wasted no time in using the middle of his beefy bat. Those who came to the ground to see Gale score as he can do would have been disappointed when, on 34 made from 30 deliveries, he skied a shot off Anthony Island to Josh Davey in the deep. Simmons was out soon afterwards, a big moment behind the stumps for debutant Adam Rossington. That left the West Indians on 67 for 2 in the 15th over. Ireland was unlucky not to also pick up the wicket of Dwayne Smith, who got away with an inside edge which flew to the boundary. But he and Darren Bravo, looking for some much-needed form after a poor test series, steadily batted their side into a strong position. The runs started to flow rather freely as these two settled in. Smith, who's had some punishing one-day innings with Sussex, was first to his 50, which came off only 48 deliveries, an innings including 7 fours. He wasted no time at all in getting used to English conditions. Bravo was more circumspect, but he too made a solid half-century, reaching it with only his third 4 off a more sedate 69 balls. Both batsmen, however, were just beginning to really warm up. While it's Bravo who will make the headlines, the more impressive of the pair probably was Smith. With his eye now firmly in, he looked nailed on for a superb 100. A few county-attacks over the years have witnessed just how well he can strike a cricket ball. Both of these hits travelled the full distance, as Smith now raced into the 90s. He was just one scoring shot away from beginning his tour with 3 figures, when he, for once, mistimed a shot off Murtagh and offered Paul Stirling a simple enough catch at mid-on. Smith was out for 96, which had been made off 81 balls, and with a total on 262 with 6 overs to go, Kieron Pollard was the 4th man to be dismissed, slicing a drive off Davey to Stirling to depart for 18. The West Indians took the game out of reach in the last half a dozen overs of their innings after Darren Bravo was joined by his half-brother Dwayne, who wasted no time at all in going after Island. 2 sixes in the same Island over soon got Dwayne moving. While Darren played the ideal one-day innings, he wasn't flash but batted soundly to reach his excellent 100, only his 3rd in List A cricket, in the final over. He'd been at the crease for 110 balls and had struck 7 fours, leaving the really big hitting to his teammates. The last over of the innings, bowled by Davey, was struck for 20 runs as the two Bravos put in a Bravo performance with a stand of 73 in their 6 overs together. They could hardly have finished off their innings in a better fashion, Darren smashing the last 2 deliveries for maximums to end unbeaten on a runner ball 112. Dwayne raced to 40 off just 21 balls, and that took the West Indians to an imposing 335 for 4 from their allotted 50 overs, a format domestic cricketers are no longer used to, of course. To get anywhere near such a total, Middlesex required a rip-roaring start, but instead they lost 4 wickets in the first dozen overs. Sam Robson was legged before to the impressive Andre Russell for 3. Stirling was unable to follow up his outstanding century on Sunday and had made only 1 run when he got under a flick off Robbie Rampaul and gave Darren Bravo the simplest of catches. Dexter briefly looked good in making his 12 with 3 boundaries, but he then pulled Russell to Pollard. And when Adam London also failed to time a shot off Dwayne Bravo to depart for 3, Middlesex were as good as out of the game on 38 for 4. Rossington, a 19-year-old academy success, had some moments to remember from his special day. But after adding 25 for the 5th wicket, he lost his partner David Malan, who top-edged to pull off Rampaul to be held by the running Dinesh Ramdin behind the stumps. Malan was out for 21, and in the next over he was joined back in the pavilion by Rossington, whose day was somewhat ruined when he sacrificed his own wicket following a mix-up with Davey. Rossington was run out for 17. Murtagh followed 2 balls later for a duck, nicking the mystery spinner Sunil Narine behind. So it was left to Tom Smith and Davey to fashion the best partnership of the Middlesex innings. They took the total from a rather sad-looking 67 for 7 to 107 for 8. Smith made 16 but then fell in Gale's first over. And with Robbie Williams unable to bat because of an injury sustained in the field, the match was over 2 balls later when Gale fired one in to trap Ireland in front for a duck. That gave those at the ground, and now you, the chance to witness Gale's rather unique celebration. In 31 overs, Middlesex have been dismissed for 107 to lose the match heavily by 228 runs. The West Indians will certainly offer England a real threat in the one-day series, while Middlesex will now recall their big guns for the start of the T20 competition and a juicy tie against Surrey at Lord's on Thursday.